Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to a special edition of the Business Plugs Mixer. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And so today we're doing business, but not business. We're doing family. And today we're talking about gun safety for children. And so lean in, lean in, lean in, and let me do my little housekeeping. First thing is go ahead and like and share wherever you are, wherever you see this, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or even on YouTube. Go ahead and share it with your friends and family. They're going to thank you for it later. And also, if you would like to be a guest on the Business Plugs Mixer, that information is in the description of this video. So go ahead and click that link and pick your Sunday to come join me on the Business Plugs Mixer. Now, this is again a very, very special edition of the Business Plugs Mixer. I have two guests here, and I want them to introduce themselves and tell you who they are and what they do. So, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, first, Judy, if you'll tell us who you are, and then Susan will tell us next.
Okay, sounds great, Linda. Thank you. My name is Judy Gallagher, and I'm one of what we call co-leads, like coordinators for the Be Smart program in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, and we're going to learn more about Be Smart this morning.
Absolutely. We need to. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for your yes. Susan?
And I'm Susan Crawford. I'm the other co-lead for Be Smart, which is an acronym, and we'll explain what that is, but it's all about keeping our families safe.
Absolutely. And so you all brought a video for us to look at. So we're going to come out and look at the video. Let me work my magic because, honey, my presentation skills on this is quite different. So I am going to cue it up, and then we are going to look at the video about Be Smart. And so there is the video. And let's see. This is taking me out of my normal, so please bear with me. I'll be there in just a second.
When it comes to keeping kids safe, we're all on the same team. As adults, it's our responsibility to keep kids out of harm's way. Part of that is from getting their hands on guns. Every year, hundreds of kids and young people die because they get a hold of guns. So many of these tragedies, suicides, unintentional shootings, even school shootings could be prevented. What can you do about it? It's simple. If you own a gun, lock it up and encourage gun owners to do the same. Look, owning a gun is your right, but it's our responsibility to protect our kids and our communities. So please do your part. Be safe, be smart. We're in this together. Learn more about secure storage at besmartforkids.org.
I love it. I love it. And so that's what we're talking about this morning, right? We're talking about not about whether somebody has the right to own a gun or not. That's your right. But we're talking about how to keep our babies safe. And I have grandkids that are small. Like I have grandkids that are grown, but I'm more concerned about my little bitty grandkids kids are curious. And that's just a part of being a child. They're just curious. And so tell us about Be Smart, ladies.
Well, I guess I'll start. Be Smart is a national program dedicated to protecting kids by raising the awareness of the importance of secure gun storage, like you just kind of saw in the video. Because right now in our country, gun violence is the #1 killer of children. It's surpassed cancer and car accidents and other kinds of things that can harm our kids. And so it's really important to keep those guns out of the hands of children. We think that by putting them up high or something, they can't reach them. That's not true. Nearly 350 children shoot themselves every year unintentionally, shoot themselves or others unintentionally. So, it's not the violence that we think about when someone goes out to purposely hurt somebody, but the kids get a hold of them and that happens.
I know, and that's the thing, like, and I heard you say about putting them up. We think if we put them up on the dresser or put them up in the cabinet, but these little babies we have now are little climbers, and they know how to get to where they need to get. They have video after video of babies climbing all over the house where we would think, how did they get up there? I just
Right.
did a video the other day where there was a toddler and got up out of her walker and was up on the kitchen counter, like getting cookies and cereal and all the things that babies want. And so, what a tragedy if something happened to your kid and you could have prevented it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like I could imagine what type of guilt and hurt that would be to live with, knowing that your baby's no longer here because of something that you failed to do.
And plus, they say that about 76% of the guns used by children in school shootings have come from the homes of parents and their other relatives. So there's many reasons, from the little bitty ones to the older kids, to keep your gun secure, as well as in your cars, especially in your cars, because over 500,000 guns are stolen each year. Half of those come from cars. So it's really important.
Yeah. And just recently here in the area, we had where some guy got out of the Burger King and he did something he shouldn't have done. And so the manager comes out to talk to him, and the 12-year-old in the car pulls the gun and kills the manager. Yeah. And so we have to be safe with all our kids, not just the little. I mean, I go to the little ones because I got little big ones. I got my other ones are 20s and up. They know better. But
I have little ones too, little grandkids too. So I relate.
Yeah, because you don't want them to make a mistake that could change their life or change the life of someone else. Right. And them not being, not meaning to. It's just they're curious, they're kids. So so talk about Be Smart. So Be Smart is a national organization, and what does it do?
Well, it's actually a program of Moms Demand Action, so it's not its own organization, but it is a gun safety. Susan, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what it is?
Sure. It's the primary focus is a conversation with parents and adults to raise their awareness. And one of the key points is the secure storage of guns, because, as we've said, it's the number one killer. It's an acronym, as I mentioned earlier. The Be Smart, S stands for secure all the guns in your home and your car. And the more there's 2 guns stolen every, 15 minutes? That's a lot of stealing. And cars are so easy. It doesn't count to put the gun under the front seat or in the glove box. That's not secure storage. We model, M is for model responsible behavior. As the adults, we are the responsible parties. It's one thing to tell a kid not to do something, but we really have to model it and be responsible. They can't be dependent on not to cross the street by themselves. They're going to know where their Christmas presents are, and they're going to know where the guns are.
Absolutely.
So we have to take care of them. The A stands for ask, and this is a new concept to me. When my daughter was little, it never occurred to me that when we have children going to other people's homes, when we set up that appointment saying, Leah's coming to your house, she's allergic to peanuts, and do you have any guns in the home? And it's trickier when you're asking not so much a neighbor, but old Uncle George. I know you have guns. Are they locked up? And it's easy if you do this in advance and you practice, and over time it becomes natural, and you can say, my guns are locked up, or if I had them, or if they say, nah, it's in the nightstand, they'll never find them. You can say, why don't you guys come to my house? You can change the plan to keep your kids safe. It's Absolutely. A lot easier to say something when it's all about the kids. R is recognize the role of guns in suicide. And we might want to talk about this separately, because there's a lot to talk about the role of guns in suicide, particularly 19 and under. This is an amazing, bad statistic on how many kids attempt or think about killing themselves. And it's shocking. And there's a role for guns in that. And we can talk about it now, or we can come back to it. I was just going to end with T is tell your friends. So that this is something Judy and I talk about, and you get us in a corner and we'll tell you all about this. But it's a good thing to say to your friends, this is something that's important to me because my grandkids or my kids or my nephews are out and about in the world, and we want all of them to be safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I thank you for that acronym. And yeah, and you don't think like when you're kids, I was thinking with my boys, they're all, 34 and above, but I was thinking about when they were kids, I would let them go to spend the night.
Yeah.
And I never had that conversation about, do you have guns in the house? I never thought to have that, but now it's important. Back then, not everybody had a gun. Now that more people have guns, and now that, our kids are going these different houses and different places, it just behooves us to think about, okay, we need to have that conversation, add that to the conversation about allergies and things that they can't have and all the other things. Yeah.
Are there going to be parents at home?
Exactly.
Especially when you have preteens and teenagers. And is your liquor locked up?
Yes.
That's okay to ask. We don't have a problem with that. But over time, we get better at asking those kinds of what seem to be hard questions, but really it's a pretty easy question.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't want the catastrophe that could happen if you didn't ask it, right?
And there's countless examples in newspapers where a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old are playing, they find mom's gun, and one or the other of them pulls the trigger or says, no, it's not. Those are just crushing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you have video games that, you buy all these accessories to it and it has a gun. And, and they teach, they learn how to shoot, but then real life and shooting at a video is two different things, but they have two very different outcomes.
Right. And especially younger kids aren't going to understand the finality of using a real gun. And they might not even know the difference between a pretend gun and a real gun. So it's all the more reason to keep the real ones locked up. And there's plenty of storage options for people, from types of options for vehicles that are made specifically to lock your gun inside your vehicle so that it can't be gotten to. Cable locks. We at the Be Smart program often, when we're out tabling and presenting this information at festivals or school open houses or wherever we might be, we give away cable locks. And that's one of the easiest, simplest, cheapest ways to lock your gun. But of course, there's a variety of gun safes. There you go. There's
Or it's also called a trigger lock sometimes.
Trigger lock, Or two more elaborate ones. If you've got long guns or rifles and stuff, they can also be locked up in some other kind of special gun safe cabinet. But we have a sample that we bring with us for a smaller handgun that people think, well, I don't have time to find my key and open it, but it's a biometric thing, which means it's just a fingerprint. You program it so only you or you and your spouse, or whoever you want to have access, can just put your fingerprint and it pops right open. So it's that quick. But it's worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, especially if you have children, you have your kids. If you're in the proximity of teens and children, small kids, I mean, there's no comparison in the value of having it.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to have you on, because that's a conversation. Because what I hear so much is people, they're very protective about their right to bear arms, and this is not saying don't bear arms. Right. This is saying be a responsible, just like if you're a pet. We're not saying don't have pets. We're saying be a responsible pet owner or be a responsible gun owner. Like if I have friends who, when their kid turns a certain age, they get a rifle, and they take them hunting and they do all these things. And I'm not against that, but at the same time, gun safety is important for all of us.
Exactly.
It is indeed.
But yeah, so talk about you were going to talk about one of the acronyms. I think it was R.
Oh, recognize the role of guns and suicides. Yeah, about 700 children die each year by gun suicide, by suicide with a gun, and that's a lot of kids. And
and apparently 20% of adolescents, or maybe even higher than that, consider it. It was a high school student survey that the Centers for Disease Control took. And 20% is a lot of kids that consider it. And then of that number, a huge percentage, like 41% of adolescents in a gun-owning household say, yeah, they've got easy access to those guns. Well, that's the worst possible mix of things to find a kid with a gun when they're feeling suicidal. One of the things that's stunning to me is that 90% of kids who attempt suicide, to kill themselves with a gun, actually are fatal. 90% of those attempts. So if you're going to kill yourself and you try with a gun, you are going to kill yourself.
Right.
But all the other methods combined, it's down in the teens. So that if people say, well, if they're desperate to kill themselves, they'll find another way. But they're not nearly as fatal isn't the right word. There's another word for that. And so if we can keep the guns out of their hands, we've made a big step.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, if they want to do it once, but the circumstances aren't right, they won't try it again. They'll get help.
Right. And then you don't want to be the person that gave your kid whatever it took. You don't want to be that person. Good morning, Louise. So Louise Bell has joined us. Good morning, Louise.
Hi, Louise.
But yeah, and so that's the thing. Here, Cedar is on, and she's talking about an event that's happening this weekend.
So it's Wear Orange. We're calling it Wear Orange. Wear Orange is a national program that happens event that happens the first weekend of June every year to honor those victims and survivors of gun violence.
Okay. And so you just wear anything in orange?
You can wear anything orange you want, and if people say, why are you wearing all that orange, you can tell them that you're supporting the victims and survivors of gun violence. Wear Orange started in 2015 which would have been Hadiyah Pendleton's 18th birthday. Hadiyah was shot and killed in Chicago when she was 15, and just 1 week after she actually performed in the parade for President Obama's second inauguration. So her friends wanted to honor her, and that's how they did it, by the holding event and wearing orange. And Wear Orange is also the colors that hunters wear when we're talking about doing hunting, and it's a color that they wear to make sure that people see them in the woods or wherever they are, that says, I'm a person, I'm not a target, don't shoot me. So that's another reason we wear orange.
I like it. And so when is it being held here?
In Chattanooga, it's going to be Sunday, June 4th at 2 p.m. at Miller Park. But if you're viewing us from somewhere else in the country, just go to wearorange.org and you can type in your zip code and see if there's something happening locally. My daughter, who lives in Manhattan, did that, and she found out there's going to be a parade across the Brooklyn Bridge, so she plans to don her orange and join the parade over the weekend.
Oh, I like it. And so wearorange.org.
Yes.
I'm going to put that in the chat if I can, so that they can have access to it. But yeah, so this has been quite interesting. People, it's just things that you don't think about. Things that you don't think about when you're talking about gun safety and you're talking about having a gun. Like a lot of people, say things like, "What, they're trying to take my gun," and this is not that. This is just asking gun owners to please be responsible owners, so that we protect our children, so that we protect our young people, because we don't want to have anyone to have easy access, and definitely don't want our guns to get stolen from our vehicles because we've placed it there thinking it's safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen stories. A 2-year-old finds a gun in his mother's purse or her mother's purse. So there's just so many places there, and they've done some studies, and I think it says here that they estimate about 30 million American children live in homes with firearms.
Mm.
So up about 7 million since 2015. So
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine because just about everybody I know has access to somebody in their home has a gun.
yeah.
And so talk about how people can become a part of Be Smart.
Oh, we have lots of ways that you can join us in this. You can join us in an organized group like this where we have meetings with other groups that want to know more about this, PTA groups, church groups, any kind of group you can name. We'll be happy to come and give you a slide presentation and talk to you about this. Or we go to things like the Wear Orange events or a community health fair, and we set up tables and we have handouts and we answer questions and we have gun locks available. That's one of the first ways. And if you want to use your text, you can text to, Judy, you're going to have to help me.
You can text SMART, all caps, SMART, that word SMART, 264433. And that across the country, you can use that text and it will eventually filter you down locally. If you're in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, you can also email us at bsmartchat, it's 2 T's, CHATT, bsmartchat, all one word, at gmail.org. And we can if you want to volunteer, we can help you learn that process. Or if you just want us, like Susan was saying, to come out and talk to you or make our materials available. We'll take them to pediatricians' offices. Maybe you have your pediatrician. You have a pediatrician that you can say, hey, I've heard about this program. Can we connect you and have materials available for your patients?
Absolutely. And we have that information in the description of this video about the text and about the emails and the different ways that you can connect. So please, please, please reach out if you're interested. If you have a youth group and you want to talk to the parents, reach out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the program is for adults.
Yeah.
We don't do school groups per se unless it's the parents or the teachers. One interesting program that's been going around in smaller parts of the country, it's not really widespread, but certain physicians are working with the American Academy of Pediatricians, and they're co-branding some of their materials, and then they give our materials with their name on it to pediatricians' offices, so that when you go there, the pediatricians are getting information that say, ask them about guns in the home. Ask them about
the American Pediatricians Organization in Tennessee has supported the Be Smart program, and they are co-branding stuff out of Nashville and Vanderbilt Hospital. And we've actually recently met with Erlanger representative too. So
that's wonderful.
So that we reach more people through those pediatricians when you go for a well child visit and the pediatrician asks you about your guns.
Absolutely.
We'd like to continue that or expand it to other organizations that you belong to.
Absolutely. I think that any of the events, because it's event time, we're all outside now. So anyone that's having some type of festival that involves families, that involves parents, then reach out and have them included in your event, because we want to be safe and we want to have a summer with no accidental injuries.
No unintentional. We call it unintentional because it's not an accident, because it can be prevented. Most accidents aren't prevented. So we say unintentional shootings, and not just parents, because we want gun owners and non-gun owners alike to protect kids. So it takes all of us.
I like it. Well, thank you. In closing, can you give us what you would like for our audience to take away from this conversation?
Secure your guns. That's the main message. Just secure your guns.
We want our kids to be safe, and that's the biggest thing we can do.
That's it. Be safe. Absolutely. Be smart. Be safe.
And if you're in Chattanooga, come out to Wear Orange on Sunday at 2 p.m. Miller Park.
Miller Park, 2 o'clock p.m. Sunday afternoon. If you're in Chattanooga, and go to wearorange.org. If you're anywhere else in the United States watching this video, then find your local gathering and wear orange and participate.
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, great. Thank you, ladies, so much for being on the show. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Buller. I'm closing now, and you can catch the Business Plus Mixer Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on YouTube. Until next Sunday, you all have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.